Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Psychology 281, Data Analysis in Psychology. My name is Dr. Spilkin, and I will be your teacher for this class. I wanted to introduce myself very briefly and then go through the syllabus with you so you understand what's expected in this course. And then if you have any questions, of course, feel free to email me. So, as I said, my name is Dr. Spilkin. I have a PhD in clinical psychology with a specialization in pediatric neuropsychology. So I study children who have different neurological conditions. And I have done research for many years at UCSD. So I use statistics all the time. And in fact, I really like statistics. And I'm guessing some of you are saying, what? There are people who like statistics? Yes, I am one of them. So I'm really happy to have you in class and hope that I can make this experience as enjoyable as a statistics class can be. My office hours will be by appointment on Zoom. Just send me an email and we'll set up a time to meet. And this is my email. Of course, I say allow 24 hours for a response, but I usually get back to you much sooner. Each of you have signed up for a specific section, and you can look and see which section that you have signed up for. And each section will have a TA that will be your TA for the semester. So each TA will have a 3-hour open Zoom time. They're at 3 different days and times, so it's 9 hours total. And as we're going through this semester, you may attend any of the TA's open Zoom hours. So there's 9 hours during the week that you can choose to attend and get help from any of the TAs. So you, even if you're assigned to Section 1, you can go to the Section 2 lab and office hours, or Section 3 office hours, up to you. However, the TA that is in charge of your section, and again, this will all be posted for you on Canvas, that TA will grade all of your work. So if you have any questions regarding homework or grading, please direct those questions to your specific TA because they're the ones who graded your work. But in terms of going and getting help in any of the office hours, you may attend any office hours. And with statistics, I will say that you will have my recorded lectures to listen to. And then if you have questions, you might try the TA for your section and see how they explain the information to you. And that may resonate with you and you may understand the information better. But sometimes you don't like that explanation, so then feel free to try a different TA. And sometimes one of the TAs will have a way to explain the concepts that makes more sense to you. So in that way, we have lots of help, lots of available office hours, and of course you have me as well. The purpose of this class is to teach you how to use a statistical program called SPSS to analyze psychological data. So we're using computer technology. And by the end of this course, you'll be able to do all sorts of things in SPSS. And this is actually a very important class. You will use this SPSS knowledge as you move on to future psychology classes like Psych 101, 301 research methods, testing and measurement class, advanced research methods. And in fact, if you go on to graduate school or work in the field of psychology research, we use SPSS all the time. So this is really one of those classes that is very important as you move on through your psychology education and career. Now, in terms of prerequisites, you have to have taken a statistics lecture class in order to be enrolled in this statistics lab class. There are many types of statistics classes, and many of you have come from different schools, different programs, and I do not know all the different psychology classes and statistics classes that are out there, but you must have taken a statistics lecture class without a lab, and you need the statistics lab component. If you have any questions about whether you should be enrolled in this class, I suggest you talk with an academic advisor. Myself or the TAs won't be able to help you with that. And you won't earn any credit for this class if you have not already taken a 3-unit statistics course without a computer laboratory component. So if this is the case, or you're unsure, again, please check with an academic advisor. Also, if you're not a psychology major, you might not need to take this class. So if you have any questions, check with an academic advisor. The SLOs, these are all the things that you will learn in here, and you can go ahead and read those in the posted syllabus. Important information, course materials. So number 1, this is an online class, and we're using an online statistics program called SPSS. So you will need a computer throughout the entire semester. SPSS cannot be downloaded to a tablet or smartphone. You actually need a computer, either a desktop or a laptop, and it can be Mac or not a Mac. However, it must be a computer. So be sure you have a working computer. If you don't, let me and your TA know immediately. Send us both an email, and we'll have to figure out what we might be able to do in that situation. But you really do need a working computer. The required software will be SPSS, and SDSU is able to get you free access to SPSS. Again, it has to be downloaded to a computer, and here's the link to download SPSS. Then you click on Technology. SPSS software links are under this Common Academic Software Packages, and then you're going to download IBM SPSS 26. So that will be important to do. We do have a required textbook. It's called by Aspelmeyer and Pierce, and it's called SPSS, a user-friendly approach, for version 22. Even though it's version 22 and you're downloading version 26, for the statistics that we'll be using in this class, nothing has changed, so it's not a problem. You may be able to purchase it at the bookstore. I'm not sure how they're doing that with our online classes. You can also purchase this book online if you want an ebook by clicking either of these 2 links, and you can purchase the ebook. But you must have this textbook, either an actual copy or an ebook copy. That is a requirement. And then, of course, access to the course website on Canvas. So we'll have lecture notes and all sorts of things on Canvas. Let's see, our class is set up in weekly modules that can be accessed from the Canvas homepage. Each week, be sure to complete all the assignments in the modules, and there will be videos, written assignments, etc. So you'll have all sorts of things, and you'll do all the work for that module each week, and quizzes as well. In terms of assessment methods, the course will use a variety of methods to assess your learning. You will read the textbook, complete short written assignments, complete weekly quizzes. You'll have a final project and a final exam. Since this is an online course, all of the assessments listed above will be done online using Canvas and any additional materials and SPSS, as I mentioned. Please know, you really do need to have a working computer. I'm going to say this one more time. I understand things happen, a computer breaks, but if you don't have really consistent access to a computer, that will be difficult. I will not accept as an excuse through the entire class, my computer's broken this week, my computer's broken this week, my computer's broken this week. We really need you to have reliable access to computer and internet access. And again, if you think that's going to be a problem, please email me. Course policies. So online attendance. Statistics is comprehensive and it's cumulative, meaning that what we learn in week 1, we're going to then use in week 2, and what we learn in week 2, we're going to then use in week 3. It's really important that you attend, and I'm sort of putting those quotes around attend, class. So you will be required to attend non-synchronous weekly lectures. And so I will post recorded lectures, and it is your responsibility to watch those lectures, but they can be watched at your convenience during the week. There will always be a theoretical lecture, and this is to remind you about whatever statistical concept we're talking about. Some of you may not have taken statistics, your statistics lecture very recently. It might have been years ago, and you don't remember anything about statistics. Some of you might have just taken your statistics lecture last semester, and you still don't remember anything about statistics. That's okay. I expect that, so really don't worry. I will post a theoretical lecture, so if we're talking about, let's say, z-scores, my first lecture on z-scores in the module will be a reminder to you about what z-scores are, what they mean, how we use them. You won't have to do any hand computations. Remember doing a lot of hand calculations in your statistics lecture class? I'm sure you do, like hand calculating standard deviation or hand calculations of t-tests. We're going to use a computer program to do all that, but you still need to know what standard deviation is, what a z-score is, and what a t-test is. So my theoretical lecture will tell you and remind you about that concept in a theoretical way. And then there will be a lab lecture that shows you how to run whatever that statistic is on SPSS, okay? And you'll be required to watch both of those lectures each week. You're expected to log in and begin your coursework on the first day of the class. Like I said, this is a fully online course with no required on-campus meetings. So even though we won't be meeting each other face-to-face, you must log into Canvas several times a week to stay informed and meet deadlines. I recommend logging into the course every day. I want you to show continuous progress throughout the course, and continuous progress is measured by completing the writing assignments, completing your homework, submitting your quizzes, and your final projects. It is your responsibility to drop any class that you decide not to attend. Believe me, I understand things happen and you might decide you need to drop the class. Please, you drop the class. I will not drop anyone from this class. All right? But if you stay enrolled in the class but stop doing the work, then you will receive a letter grade at the end of the semester. And if you haven't done the work, then it will probably be an F. So again, if you're going to drop the class, totally understandable in my opinion. I hope to see you in another semester, but please, you drop yourself. Okay, lab attendance. So this is typically a lab class, and your TA will have an open 3-hour Zoom time during your lab time. And again, those will be listed for you on the syllabus that's posted as well as Canvas. Typically, if we were on campus, students come to their lab and that's where they work on their homework and they ask questions of their TA during this time. So I would suggest that you kind of set aside that time to do your homework. Pick one of those lab times that works best for your schedule, and that's when you do your homework. And then if you have questions, then Zoom in and get your question answered by your TA. And as I said, you may attend any of the Zoom sections that are listed. So any of those 9 hours will work. You don't have to just be going to your specific TA's Zoom hours. But if you have any questions about your grading of your homework, direct those questions to your specific TA because your specific TA will be grading your homework. All right. So as I said, each week you'll have a new module to complete that will typically correspond to one chapter in the text. I will open the modules on Sunday evenings, and each week there will be videos as well as a variety of assignments that will be completed. The assignments contribute to your understanding of the material as well as your grade in the class. Each week, work your way through the module, completing all of the assignments by their due dates. It is your responsibility to turn in your assignments on time. Below are the types of assignments that you will typically have and their typical due dates. Of course, you can complete any assignment in a module early. That's fine. Late is not fine. So you will have Canvas written assignments, and we will have some due Wednesdays and some due on Sundays. So Wednesdays and Sundays are really the days to think about in this class. You might want to kind of put those in your calendar or on your phone or something like that. There'll always be something due Wednesday and some things due on Sunday. The goal here is that statistics is just too much to leave it to the last minute. If you try to leave listening to my lectures and doing all the assignments and the quiz till Sunday night, you won't get it done, all right? You really need to work through statistics bit by bit throughout the week, just like we were on campus. So weekly, you'll have 2 or more short written assignments on the basically reading of the text, but mostly the information comes from my lectures. The textbook that I have for you is just a manual, basically, on how to use SPSS, but it doesn't have those concepts, those statistical concepts like what is a t-test, when would you use a paired samples t-test, what does a z-score mean? That information isn't in there. That information comes from my lectures. So the assignments may require you to upload output from SPSS. At least one assignment will be due Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. and at least one will be due, this should not say Saturday, this should say Sunday, by 11:59. Be sure to complete your writing assignments by the due dates. Okay. Remember, this is all done now on computers, and so you must complete and have submitted the assignment by 11:59 p.m. As soon as it turns to midnight, your assignment is considered late. So again, don't wait till Wednesday at 11:50 to start doing your assignments. Give yourself time. You will also have weekly quizzes. Those are due on Sundays by 11:59 p.m. You have all week. All of your assignments are open all week, so you do not have to wait till the last minute to do it. So for each chapter, you'll be expected to complete a weekly quiz. They're important to help you understand the material. There'll be multiple choice questions, and you may be asked to do some SPSS analyses. So every week, you want to be sure to do your quiz. They're 10-question quizzes, basically. There's also a final project. I will describe this in more detail as we move through the class, and you'll be responsible in the final project for completing and interpreting a number of statistical problems in SPSS. The project will be cumulative, and you'll be required to read the problem, decide which type of statistical test would be appropriate, run the test using SPS software, and interpret what the results mean. And we'll also have a final exam that will be taken via Canvas and will be cumulative. You'll have 100 minutes to complete the exam. The exams are open book. I mean, everything here is open book and open note, but not to be taken with another student. I will give you a study guide. You will not have enough time to look up the answers and teach yourself the concepts during the exam. And we'll talk about this. The quizzes give you a little more time. I think I give you half an hour or an hour to complete the quiz, so you can kind of work through the material, not the final exam. By then, I'm expecting you will learn the material, you study for the exam like a regular final exam, and then you take it. There's not enough time to kind of look things up and figure it out as you go along. No late assignments will be accepted after the last day of class, and we don't do any extra credit. Important information, it is your responsibility to follow the course schedule and complete scheduled work by the established deadlines. If you can't find an assignment or an assessment, contact me. Let me know. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to, sometimes there's a technical problem. Sometimes there's something wrong on my end that I've pushed a wrong button or clicked a wrong option. Let me know and I will help you, okay? But you need to come and reach out to me. Late missed written assignments, anything submitted after the due date will not receive full credit. Okay, typically it's 50% off, no matter how late it is. All right. and nothing will be accepted after the last day of class. If you miss the final exam or final project, there's no opportunity to make it up. Okay, helpful hints. This course requires diligent work, keeping up with the material. You might remember that from your statistics lecture class, where you need to keep up, or because all the information builds on itself. And if you start to fall behind, it's very difficult to continue to do well. So if you don't understand a concept, please ask your TAs. Please go to those open Zoom hours, or ask me for help. I told you the information builds. Students who keep up with a course will find it easier to learn the new material and will likely receive higher grades. Okay, some classes, missing some material has a small impact on your final grade, but that's not the case in statistics. If you don't understand the early material, it makes the entire class more difficult. As I said, I will post videos throughout the semester to help you with the material. Please watch the videos. They are there to help you. Some of the videos are longer, some are shorter. Again, imagine that you're on campus in class. You have an hour lecture. That's kind of what I'm giving you, an hour lecture just over the computer. So give yourself the time to sit and watch the videos. In addition to reading and watching the videos, you'll need to set aside time each week for your quizzes. The time will vary by topic and level of difficulty. I can't tell you, your quiz will only take you 5 minutes or 15 minutes, or some of you might take longer than that, as well as the homeworks. Sometimes the homework, you understand the topic well and you can get through it real quick, and some weeks the topics are maybe more difficult for you and it'll take you a little bit longer. If you're having any difficulty with the material, please attend your weekly Zoom labs. And really, communication is key in an online class. I will do my best to communicate with you frequently and clearly. You'll get lots of emails from me. So you understand the expectations for this course, but please reach out to your TA or me if you're having difficulties so that we can try to work through the issues. There's very little I can do if you're struggling through the entire semester and then you contact me on the last day asking for help. Being really proactive in your communication is very important. And listen, we expect it. I know statistics is hard. Some people find it very confusing. I'm going to do my best to really go step by step with you through this class, but I'm expecting you will have questions. Your TAs are expecting you will have questions, and that's what we're here for. So please, please ask us, and we're here to help. In terms of grading, each activity is graded and it gets a specific number of points, but then I do a weighted final grade. So all your written assignments will be 25% of your grade. All your weekly quizzes will be 25% of your grade. Then your final project is 25% and the final exam is 25% of the grade. Okay? And so your grade ends up being a weighted average. So you can't just simply add up the number of points and divide by the total number of points. It's a weighting for each of those categories. And if you have questions about how you're doing in the class, feel free to ask me. And then once we have your weighted grade, you get a letter grade based on your percent. Like A is 90 to 100, 90 and 91 is an A minus. B is 80 to 89. 88 and 89 are B plus, 80 and 81 are B minus, and you can extrapolate from there. I have made every effort to make the course accessible to all students, including students with disabilities. If you encounter a problem accessing anything in this course, please contact me immediately and I will fix the problem as soon as I possibly can. And while I'm happy to answer questions about the class material or how to use SPSS, or accessibility issues, I can't help you if you have a technical issue with your online textbook, or if you can't get Canvas to work, or if SPSS technically isn't working for you. So in that case, you need to contact textbook support or Canvas support or SPSS support for those technical issues. Of course, you're welcome to let me know if you're having problems, but I can't fix Canvas for you, okay? Or remind you of what your password is. I don't have that kind of information. So please go to the appropriate help desk. Be sure to note the deadline to drop classes with no W, and then the withdrawal deadline. It's your responsibility to drop the class if you no longer want to take it. We're getting there, guys. Close. Important homework policy. This is a lab class, and our goal is for you specifically to learn how to use SPSS. So all of your homework must be done on your own. I ask that you don't do your homework or any of your assignments with a classmate or a friend. If you have questions about the material, just attend one of the Zoom TA sessions and get your questions answered. Don't ask your question of another student, all right? If you're confused, then likely other students are confused. If you ask someone how did they answer the question and they give you the wrong answer, then you both write the same wrong answer. It looks like you've copied. It looks like you've cheated. And that's a problem that I take very, very seriously. So ask your TA, email your TA, or email myself with questions you have. Because this is so important, and you learning how to do SPSS and use SPSS is so important in a psychology major. If a student turns in homework that appears to be similar to another student, both students will receive a 0 on that assignment, and it cannot be dropped or you can't talk your way out of it. It's a 0. If it happens again, both students will be reported to the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities, and in that case you might be placed on probation or suspended or expelled. It is not worth that, okay? So as I said, we as your teacher and your TAs expect your questions. Ask us your questions. We're happy to help you. Don't ask another student. And this happens every semester. I go through this, and then every semester somebody does turn in the same homework assignment. Your TAs and myself, I'm not a detective. I'm a pediatric neuropsychologist, all right? And I won't spend time listening to 2 different versions of why your homework is exactly the same as someone else's homework. It's just, I can't do it. You will both receive 0s. So the best way to avoid that is simply to just do your own work. If you have any questions about this policy, feel free to let me know, ask me, and I'm happy to help. Makeup assignments, you can always turn your work in early for the week. So you get your entire amount of work for the week on Sunday. If you know you have a busy end of the week, do the work early in the week, right? Please do not wait to the last minute. I can't say that enough. If you know you have to miss something due to official university business or religious holiday, contact me ahead of time so that we can arrange that with myself and your TA. And I've talked to you about quizzes must be taken again anytime during the week. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility to fit that into your schedule. But if it's late, it's deduction of points, all right? If you have an emergency, let me know. I'm going to let you read most of the university policies on your own, but if you have official accommodations through the university, please email me and your TA immediately, and then I will be sure, like if you get extra time for quizzes or things like that, I will be sure to accommodate you, but I don't know that unless you let me know. Any concerns, please let me know first of all, and I will try to work it out. In all my years of teaching, we've always been able to work out whatever problems there are. And then this gives you kind of the way to work through a problem. If for some reason you and I can't work it out, you would go to the chair, etc. Again, I'll let you read a lot of this on your own. Academic honesty, extremely important. No working with other students, plagiarizing, cheating, all of that I take extraordinarily seriously, so please don't do that. That's additional psychology department policy on academic integrity. Here are some resources for students. Classroom conduct and standards, I'm just going to mention right here that I, without having met any of you at this point, have a lot of respect for you as students who are here taking a statistics class online. Sure, there's lots of other more fun ways you could spend your time, but you're doing this. And I think education is extremely important. That's why I'm a teacher. And I have a lot of respect for anybody who is furthering their education. So I ask that you also have respect for me, as well as the TAs, as well as anybody else in your class, all your classmates. So I expect respectful communication, any online communication between you and myself or your TAs. If you're in an open Zoom session, that you're respectful, and then we won't have any problems, and I can't imagine that we would. Any kind of medical related absences, just contact me and let me know what's going on. Keep me informed. Of course, your health is the most important thing, so work with you if you're having a medical emergency, but please let me know. And there's information on the economic crisis response team if you are in need of that. And then just to give you an idea of how our tentative class schedule will go, and if anything changes, I'll announce it on Canvas and through email. Here's our first week. We'll be introducing, that's what we just did, the class, welcoming you to the class. You'll be getting familiar with Canvas and downloading SPSS. Please do this early in the week. That way, if you have any problems, if SPSS won't download, whatever the technical issues are, this is the week to get them worked out, because starting next week, we kind of zoom straight into needing all of that technology working. So working out any technical issues. You're also going to learn how to take a screenshot, because we will be needing that for your homework assignments. You'll be taking screenshots of your SPSS output data and turning those in. So that's something you might need to Google how to do that. And there's a little assignment that you'll do this week. And then chapter 1. Chapter 1 is in your textbook. Again, it's just an introduction to SPSS, which is a small chapter because it's basically introducing you to the computer program. But I add to that lecture a lot of terms that maybe you forgot from your statistics lecture class, things like what is a sample, what's a population, what's an independent variable, what's a dependent variable. So giving you some of that background information so that we're all on the same page as we move forward. So that's what my lecture adds. My lectures add a lot to what the textbook has. This first week for your lab, you'll work on your chapter 1 assignments. And this is the only week where I need you to officially check in on Zoom with your specific TA. It'll be 5-minute appointments that you'll sign up for, just to introduce yourself, and also to be sure they'll ask you, hey, when did you take your stats lecture class? And we'll just kind of talk about the fact that this is the right class for you. They will not be able to give you an absolute answer, so if you have a question, I would still contact academic advising, but I just want you to touch base, get to meet your TAs, and then after that, there's no assigned Zoom times. If for some reason you are not available during the 3 hours that your TA is available, send your TA an email to set up a separate quick Zoom meet session, and that's important for our first week. After that, we just go through basic operations in SPSS, and then you'll work on your chapter 2 assignments. Week 3, we have no class or no lab. It's Labor Day, and so we are just taking that week off. Then we start on chapter 3, how do you find sums in SPSS? Then we move on to descriptive statistics, frequency distributions, describing distributions, things like mean, standard deviation, z-scores, and then inferential statistics. So we'll do t-tests, and we have 3 weeks where we work on t-tests. We work on ANOVA, and then correlation and regression by week 13. After week 13, you'll start working on your final project, okay? In the beginning of that, Thanksgiving will be that week, but I'll open that final project at the beginning of that week for you. Then you'll have all the next week to work on the final project, and then the last day of the semester before finals, the final project is due. And then we will have our final exam during our final exam time during that week, and I'll give you all those dates on Canvas. All right, well, very nice to welcome you to class. I'm looking forward to working with you. Again, feel free to contact me with any questions you have, and have a good start to the semester. Thanks, everybody.